It's like really, really, really an emergency, you can use it. As well as in an like maybe in another levels, it's useful to have a dictionary to use in class. It's helpful for them. I wouldn't say a translator because translation is bad, but looking at dictionary in English, it opens you more doors to even other words. Sometimes you look a word in a dictionary and it comes up the definition with words that you don't know. So then you just look at those words and you keep on learning, and it's pretty good way to learn. Like it's a good tool when you know the definition on it. I would say having your cell phone in class, it's something that it can be positive and negative at the same time. But as well as sometimes you're getting, for example, there's a lot of people who cannot pay attention a lot at one time. So what they can do is just look at their cell phones for a moment and then just so then just they're like
I can't take it back on task.
yeah.
It's a rush argument. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I
So-
understand what you're saying.
So yeah, sometimes you just need to look at it and then okay, you just go back. So I would say that, and I would also say like it just depends on what you're trying to get from the class. For example, some students will record the class. They will just do an audio record and they can like use those tools. And since technology has been overtaking the education, there's a lot of options for you to take. There's a lot of things for you to do with your cell phone, and having that window, like that intermedia tool in your hand, it's very useful. And I think it shouldn't be banned, and you shouldn't put a box on it because that's kind of. I don't feel like it's the best option. I would say, just if you mind that, if you think that you're not gonna keep your cell phone away, put it in a box. I don't like that much that rule. I think like it's a rule that somebody made up in 5 minutes, and so it's alright. But we understand that. And
Okay, now are you ready for some
contrary.
contrary
Come to me, guys.
opinions? Yes, please, people, contrary.
Okay, I think that cell phone is disturbing. They're distracting us from learning
Why?
because you're not paying 100% attention. Your attention is going to different places, and if it is going there, you cannot concentrate well.
I would say it helps me to concentrate sometimes. Sometimes I'm just falling asleep and then just take message. I wake up and then I can still study. No, what I really want to say about this is sometimes when you use it a lot in class, like you use it for another things, it can be not useful. It can be like something disturbing and it can be something bad. But at the same time, it can turn into something good if you just look at your tools and you look at all the advantage that you can take from the technology in class. So then you can get better at some. For example, if I hadn't had this because you changed the module. So what I did is just look on it and I had it, and then I could just follow the class without even everybody like saying borrow me this, or yeah, I can still using it, and any information I can still getting it to my phone, and it's way easier to use, and you can still like,
What if
concentrate.
when you're trying to see just for a second what's going on in your cell phone, the teacher is saying something very important and you missed it?
Like I say, it just depends on you. If you're able to manage your time and to manage the like when the teacher has like free time for it, you can just look at another stuff. It's alright. But if you're just gonna be all the time in your
But
cell
you
phone,
can
it's
do
gonna
that
be bad.
both at the same time, and multitask. You listen and... Okay.
Okay, I have one more contrary argument. I'm sorry.
All right.
That when you're using cell phone, it's impolite. It's very rude for a teacher
How come?
because you're doing something that you want instead of doing what your teacher wants. It is very rude.
Looking at it that way, I would say it's not just about the teacher do this, do the other, and you just hear it. I would say we have to have the right of choosing if we're gonna look at another tools, if we're gonna look at another things, and like she said, it's good for multitasking too. Sometimes you just can.
Yeah, but some people
You
just
have-
not multitask.
Just pretend you got a new job, a very nice job, and you get like lots of money, a good salary. I mean, so but there is a law, a rule. I mean, you are not allowed to use cell phones there. Would you be willing to follow the rule or leave the job?
It just depends because there's some rules at some places that you can learn how to manage them and learn how to like handle them. I would say as an example in that class that I do in, sometimes the kids they get distracted too much because they talk about things that they brought. For example, sometimes they bring a toy, something like that, and they talk about it. They talk like this, yeah, I was playing Call of Duty, whatever, and you have to keep control of it because they're 8-year-old guys, so you just need to, right? So what I actually do is put in a screen. I have a like I did a PowerPoint which is showing this a sequence of like a pattern for right hand, so then they can play. So they just look at it and they just keep on doing it and they just cannot stop. So I like that because they stop thinking about Call of Duty, they stop thinking about everything, so they just keep on doing the job that they want to do. As well as sometimes I feel like having some tools, like I would say look at the benefits that it's giving you. And if the job wants me to just don't use my cell phone, I would just say, okay, I'm not gonna use it until it's necessary because sometimes you just need the tools. I would say in my country, sometimes you just use your cell phone for some apps that it has to show your friends, hey, look, this, yeah. But here in America, this has became a tool. It's a tool for you to live, for you to get to the bus, for you to get on time and stuff, for you to plan everything. So I would say it's very useful. And to ban it and put it in a box, I wouldn't.
But again, it is useful, but you can avoid using it. I mean, I don't have smartphone. I have a dumb phone with no tools, and I'm living pretty good without it. I can use internet somewhere else. I can find a way to the bus stop on the map. I can ask people, and it would be live communication, which is more useful than to find it on an app.
That is a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
I
We
would,
have a different lifestyle.
So I mean that it is not something that it is a necessity, It is helping your life. Yeah, it makes it easy, but it's not a necessity. You
in
still
some cases
cannot
it
wait.
is. What if you're just in the middle of the road and no help and you don't have anyone to call? You
I
would say,
cannot
like,
go anywhere in my car if I don't have navigation. I need the navigation. So
Again,
no-
because you're used to that. I'm using maps, and I'm doing pretty good with that.
I
have
just
maps.
think that it's about a point of view, and it's about like how you see the stuff. I would say, for example, in a conversation, like when you're talking to somebody, what I hate the most is people in the cell phones. I just hate it. So then when I take somebody to
Why?
a date, for example,
Why? Why do you hate somebody being on the cell phone when you're talking to the people?
because sometimes you're talking to them and they're like paying attention to other stuff. But I would say
So why
I
do you
would
think the
say-
teacher is not feeling the same
I
when
would
you're
say-
doing the same
I
in the
would
class?
say, can you please? May I finish? I like to say. May I finish? So, but I would say that sometimes it's necessary to answer for an emergency or for look at another information on it, or maybe she's showing me something about her family. Look, this is my family. This
We are
is
talking
something.
about class, right?
Yeah.
Cell phone
But-
in class, not.
But it's just it's all about that. You just need to look at the context. No, not just looking at the point. Because when you say, for example, everything has a yes and no answer, and it just depends on situation.
Wow.
You can look at a lot of stuff, and you won't find just a yes answer or a no answer. It just depends on situation. And I like to judge the actions because of the context. That's what I like to do. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes can save your life, sometimes can ruin your life, sometimes, and it just depends on the situation. But I would say, especially in this case, like we have been through this box thingy, I would say that is not the best way to do it. Put it in a box. And I don't like that. It seems like somebody say, okay, just put it there. And like making up a rule 5 minutes before something. So I don't like that. So.
He has concluded a couple of times in a very beautiful way. He has convincing argument. He's saying that it should be used in helpful ways. We have to judge the context of the situation, whether it's rude or not.
That's true.
And so I think those are very good arguments. Okay, I don't know if I agree with all of them.
We don't agree, but we recognize
But we
your
agree
skills.
that you are fantastic arguer. I would not like this boy as a son because he probably could argue everything he wants.
Yeah, that's true.